Welcome to the next installment of the Solo Brutality campaign with the Beast Kingdoms. They just rescued their buddy Panthro from a neighboring tribe in our last mission, and he actually explains to them that their tribe was not the only one attacked by these cannibals, and they actually had several dozen people in tow at the time. Now, Tricky was blindfolded, so he didn't know that, but that's what Panthro says. And he knows where the cave is, where this giant white ape creature came out, and bought several of these people and locked them in 4 different gems. So he essentially had a tesseract of some sort, 4 tesseracts, and he was able to purchase, 6 or 8 people at a time and put them in these tesseracts. So while the Brayherd shaman back there is not trusted enough to go on missions, and Panther's very injured from the last mission, they won't be taking part in this. So they decide they're going to go in there, they're going to take these gems, and they're probably going to send Panther on his way back to their tribe to release all the people, etc. So that is what's going on. This mission's going to involve Rox, and Steven, and Sif, and Murmak. And Tricky and Tuska are going to stay with Panthro and the priest. These are the catacombs they will be fighting in. And this is just a custom little mission I made up on the fly because I like solo gaming and this was different. So this is what they're going to be exploring, okay? There are 5 objectives, which are all the ones with green around them. See, there's green flock here, there's green flock there, and right there, and all the way over there as well. So there are 5 objectives here that we're trying to search for these gemstones. Now, I've made a D10 list to roll on, and 4 of them involve finding the gems and getting a point. Each, because it's a D10 table and there's 5 objectives, I'm going to be rolling twice on the table each time I activate an objective. And that's either going to drop down enemies, which is actually 60% chance, or it's going to give us points. Now, we will leave as soon as we get the 4 points. I don't know when that will be, but when we get the 4 gems, we're out of there. But in the meantime, we're going to have to fight our way through this, and we don't know where the enemies are coming. When they drop down, they're going to scatter D10 inches in a random direction, so they're going to be right on top of us, sometimes on the other side of a wall or whatever. But they're immediately going to know that we are there, and they're going to come after us. And all in all, our list is 6 points, and theirs is like 11 or 10. But the advantage is that we're only going to be fighting 1 or 2 of them at a time, plus the boss at one time. So we're also going to be using the solo missions event tables just to spice things up. And I got my partner here in crime with me, Gabby, and we are going to see how this turns out. Complete pure solo mode. We don't know whether it's going to be a short or a long mission. We don't know if we're going to die or not. So we're walking into these catacombs, and there they are, walking into the catacombs, and there we're all set up. Let's get a shot of Steven. There he is. So let's see what we get. Alright, we skipped to moving several times until we got right here. And we rolled twice and rolled 2 enemies. Now, as soon as I activate one of these, mark one of these things off on the D10 table, I'm going to be rounding up from then on. The boss is if I roll a natural 1. So a ranged bandit appears, and he's right there, and then a swarms appears right there. Now, they're going to get to activate first, which is going to hurt us. But you'll notice that we put Steven there next to the objective in hopes that he would be safe. Okay, I don't usually stop combat just to show you my dice rolls, but this swarms rolled 5 attacks because they had rear arc, they were fight skill 5 instead of 3, and they rolled 3 10s and 2 8s. That is nuts. In the end of both of these activations, the Scarabs did nothing to poor Murmak, and poor Murmak did nothing to the Scarabs except get a burning token. And this guy comes out of a secret door in the wall and fires twice at Steven, hitting him twice and dealing 2 unsaved damage to him. And one of his wound chart rolls was a 1, but the other one was -2 movement on poor Steven. It's now our team's turn, and Steven does Aura on Rox, and he does Curse, -1 save on the shooter. He also gives himself a time slip, and he was the first one to activate. He does that, and then Rox charges in and is able to kill this guy he also gave an agony, but he was able to kill this guy completely in the first turn, which is nice. The guy did 1 more damage left to him. And Murmak saved his 1 fire token and then charged at the scarabs that were right where Sif is now. And he got 2 more in their combat, 2 more burning tokens. Sif was able to take off. So Murmak took off 1 hit point, and Sif was able to take off another hit point, and Sif got a burning token, but actually took no damage, which is nice. So it's now back to the enemies again. At the beginning of the turn, old Gabby rolled on the solo chart, and we got powerful energies, which allow all of our willpower checks to pass on a 1 through 9 this turn. So Steven had essentially a willpower of 9, and he, after the scarabs attacked Sif and killed Sif, unfortunately, then Steven comes over here and curses the beetles with -2 fight skill, or the scarabs, and he puts the time slip on Rox. Rox charges in, does a little bit of damage to him, blinds them, puts them in agony, and also gives them trauma, so he's completely breaking their armor down to a 1. And then he throws them into the wall, and I think that was the agony. He threw him through the wall. So at this juncture, we've got Steven with 1 hit point, and we've got Rox with 3. But we're hoping that maybe we can just roll these 4 victory points and be done with it. I think we're just going to carry on. It has not been a good start for us, and these beetles have been a real pain in the butt. But also, when Murmak activated, the flames killed him. He had 1 last hit point, and he died. So this has been very rough to start out with. Over the next 2 turns, we rolled a couple things on the solo chart that really didn't apply to us, like being 3 inches above the ground, etc. And Rox went toe-to-toe with these beetles, wearing them down over time, slamming them into the doors, slamming them into the walls and all that, and they kept coming back. Eventually, he does end up killing it, and he's got 2 burning tokens, and we are ready to move on to the next objective. Alright, we got ourselves set up at the next objective. We think we're pretty safe. See, we've got Rox blocking all the exits and all that. We do roll 1 of the gems, so Steven got 1 victory point for getting the gem, but we also rolled these 2 guys right there, so they're going to activate first, and it's probably going to spell trouble for Steven. I won't be surprised if he's dead. Just as expected, they charged poor Steven, and they killed him, unfortunately. He did 1 unsaved wound to this bandit, and the other guy failed his charge on Rox. So now it's Rox's turn to kick some butt. So turn after turn, they fought each other, and Rox is getting assaulted from these guys. He's saving it. He's hitting them. He's throwing them back into each other because he's a brute, and doing crushing wound chart rolls to both of them. And then he attacks them. He does trauma on them. They're hitting him. They did -1 fight skill. They're chewing him down completely. And one of these rolls we did was Divine Intervention for the solo mode. So the first time he dies with 1 hit point, he'll be coming back. But he manages to kill both of these, believe it or not, by himself. So let's see if we can continue this mission with 1 hit point. Our buddy Rox activates the next objective, moving up there and putting his back to the wall. He does get another one of the gems, so now we've got 2 out of 4 of the gems, but he also rolls another cultist. So this cultist is going to be activating first. We're going to roll on the solo chart first, but then we are going to get right into combat. Let's hope Rox can hold this off. The cultist attacks Rox and is able to kill Rox. Rox does 2 unsaved wounds to him, and because of our Divine Intervention, we can bring Rox back to life with 1 hit point. We charge back into the cultist and murder him. So now we've got 1 objective all the way over here, and 1 objective all the way over there. Oh, the thing we rolled this turn is that that objective is worth an extra victory point if we find the gem on it. So I think that's the one that we're going to be going after next. Alright, on to the next turn. Let's see if he can survive. Alright, he's on the last objective. What we need is a 4 and a 5 to get victory points. Come on, a 4 and a 5. A 3 and a 3, which actually we've already rolled 3 and 3. So I'm looking at the list over here. So 3 and 3 both get rounded up. We said we'd always be rounding up, and 4 and 5 are both the ones that they round up to. So actually, stop. All right, so we actually did win this gauntlet. And then Rox is going to very politely ignore this objective over here because what we have waiting for him is a Minotaur and the big monster, which, to be honest with you, I don't think we could, I don't think we could make it against either one of those with Rox at 1 hit point. So, that was pretty interesting. We really got our butts handed to us, didn't we, Gabby?
Huh?
I said we got our butts handed to us.
What's that mean?
We got our butts kicked.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Alright, well, Rox actually pulled it off. He very rarely ever survives a mission, and he was the guy that held it on his shoulders. So if it weren't for that one solo event, that the Divine Intervention, he would be dead right now, and we would have lost this mission. I think that's it, so let's go into the home phase. After they free everyone from the Tesseract gems, Panther says goodbye to everybody and thank you for helping them. And they've got a bunch of people behind them. And they're going to go back to their tribes and repopulate Rox's original tribe as well as the tribes they came from. So that's a big bulk of the people saved. And now they're going to try to see if they can't find the big boss in the next mission or the next mission or two. So now it's back to the home phase. Alright, at the end of this, Murmak got 1 victory point, leveling him up. Tuska got 1 victory point. Steven got 2. Sif got 1. Rox got 8 victory points, 8 experience this game. So that catapulted him 4 levels up to 23. So now he's auto healing in between turns. He's got another passive ability. He got an extra fight skill, but he was already at 8, unfortunately, so that doesn't help. Tricky got 1. So these are their rolls. We rolled for building and got that, so we've got a 7th spot for someone. We failed the scavenging roll. We got the first aid. No, we failed the first aid roll. We failed the connections roll. We got the chemistry roll, but we failed the inspiring roll. So the chemistry got, who's that? Tuska has the healing potion now. And Rox got his execution thing. So because this was an item mission, we ended up rolling on the item chart, and he got a bravery artifact, 5 gold. You have to be 5 willpower, or you have to have at least 5 insanity instead of 3 for you to have to start making insanity checks. And while we're at it, we got a bunch of people that have now been put to 3. So we have Sif, Steven, and Murmak. Now, Steven was already at 3 and he passed it, but his willpower is high. So let's go ahead and roll it right now. Sif is a willpower of 5. She saves it. She's good for another turn. Steven's 8. He gets it. He's good. And poor Murmak. I have a bad feeling about Murmak. What's his willpower? 5. And Murmak fails it. So we're going to have to roll on that chart and see what he gets. Our old buddy Murmak gets a 7 on the insanity chart, which is unnerved. So he's going to have to start each mission within 6 inches of 2 allies, or he starts the mission with a confusion token. That's not the worst scenario, so I'm okay with that. But he does get to clear all of his insanity now, and he's at 0 again, but now he's going to be unnerved. Well, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And we're nearing the end of this campaign, and it's been a lot of fun. And I think that's it. So I'll see you in a week or 2.